Meeting order at 7:30. Mike, can you call the roll?
Scott Fishel,
Here.
Dennis Keeney,
Here.
Denise Brewster,
Here.
Linda Grassi,
Here.
and Lori.
Stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have, our treasurer's not here, so we will elect a treasurer pro tem. I make a motion to approve Linda Grassi as treasurer pro tem. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Mike, can you call the roll?
Scott Fishel,
Aye.
Dennis Keeney,
Aye.
Denise Brewster,
Aye.
Linda Grassi.
Aye.
Okay. We have a consent agenda, finance and audit.
Okay, make a motion to approve item A listed on the finance audit consent agenda as recommended by the treasurer. Can I get a second?
A second it.
Any discussion?
Mike, can you take the roll?
Dennis Keeney,
Aye.
Denise Brewster,
Aye.
Linda Grassi,
Aye.
Scott Fishel.
Aye, motion carried. Consent agenda personnel.
Motion to approve items A and B listed on the personnel consent agenda as recommended by the superintendent. Can I get a second?
A second.
Any discussion?
Did you want to introduce Susan?
There's a wait to vote.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Sounds good, you're right. Okay.
Go ahead and take the roll.
All right. Denise Brewster,
Aye.
Linda Grassi,
Aye.
Scott Fishel,
Aye.
Dennis Keeney.
Aye.
If I could have a minute, with joining us today is...
Motion carried.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
go
Thank
ahead.
you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was really excited. So you can tell how excited I am. If I could have joining us today is Kaylee Flint. She was just approved to be our new middle school principal, so we are really excited to have her. She comes to us from Willowick Middle. She will also be here at the normal June meeting to meet the entire board.
Okay.
So
Well,
everybody
welcome.
should meet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for choosing us.
Absolutely. I'm very happy.
Yeah.
She's a resident as
Yes.
I am.
Mhm.
Oh,
We are-
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are super excited to keep one of our own and the great things she's going to bring to Lincoln.
Great.
Okay, so we have personnel, consent agenda for curriculum.
Okay. Hold on a minute. A motion to approve the items listed on curriculum and programming consent agenda as recommended by the superintendent. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
Mike, can you take the roll?
Linda Grassi,
Aye.
Scott Fishel,
Aye.
Dennis Keeney,
Aye.
Denise Brewster.
Aye.
Motion carried. Board of Education business, we have Precision Environmental for the CTE edition. Resolution to approve a purchase order with Precision Environmental Company for asbestos abatement related to the Riverside Campus Improvement Project at a total cost of $32,505. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
And
Is there any, was this included in the original cost estimate?
This was not. This is the abatement of just the first floor.
Correct.
Asbestos that's up there. So it does not deal with the basement.
And this is coming from permanent improvement.
Correct.
Was that in our permanent improvement forecast previously, or is this also in addition to?
I can't speak to that, I'm sorry.
Don't think it was, but I'd have to look to see.
okay, Mike, can you take the roll?
Scott Fishel,
Aye.
Dennis Keeney,
Aye.
Denise Brewster,
Aye.
Linda Grassi.
Aye.
Motion carried. We have the demolition of the Buckeye trailers, and there were two quotes. Do we have printouts of those two quotes?
I do not have printouts, I did attach them.
sorry.
Can someone print those out so we can look at them and read them?
If you email them to me right now, Mike, I'll go do it.
Yeah, from Hack and Eagle.
I can do that.
Yeah, there's two different.
So one of you guys email them to me and I'll go in there and print
Yeah,
them
there's
out.
two different companies. I
It's
think
gonna take a minute though.
we should look at them.
So, but this includes the two older trailers and the overhead walkways that was built
Yeah,
and decking.
Right, what's gonna be removed are the older ones in that we have walkways and overhead roofs, and so all that'll be removed. And the one that we just purchased a couple years ago, we would look to sell instead of just throw away. Do we know what we paid for that a couple of years ago?
I can look real quick while they're getting that.
I think it was substantial.
I thought it was somewhere around 130,000 if I'm not mistaken, plus the cost to move it and then renovation
Put it
or
all
whatever
back.
and put it back together. I mean, it was a substantial cost. Can I ask a question on this? Why are we putting this on the agenda now if we haven't had the opportunity? I mean, while the attachments were included in the board agenda, why are we putting this on as a special item? If it can wait till the end of the month and we would have more time to review this and ask and formulate questions. We're being asked to do that right here at the table.
Right, this.
Like, so we're
this,
gonna sit here, are we gonna take people's time and my time and whatever and read these right now? And then formulate questions and then have conversation, and not all board members are here, I
Okay,
have an issue with that.
so what is your question? Because there are
My
about four
que-
things.
Yeah,
in
there are about 4 things in there. Why are we not having some time to review these and formulate questions? Or are we just planning to read them, sit here for a while, think about it, formulate our questions, and then ask the questions at this table right now?
Well, it's been a process that's been going on for several months, and so we're looking at.
That's not what I'm asking.
We're looking at acting so that the work can get done.
Okay, I'm asking about the contracts, not the work. I'm asking about the contracts. Do we have an opportunity to review these contracts and look at them and discern the differences between the two of them? Or are we being asked to do that right here at this table, read them?
Oh, well, the
And-
contracts were sent out a couple days ago.
Well, I realize.
Did you
then-
read them?
Yes, then why do you need them printed?
Well, I'd like everyone to have an opportunity to discuss it if we want to have a
Right,
discussion.
are you assuming that nobody read them?
I'm not the only person here, so I'd like to have everyone have a copy, just in case there's any discussion.
Yeah,
That's
I
all.
read them. Mr. Alessic, did you secure one of the bids or both bids? I don't know.
I only did the one with Eagle.
Eagle, okay.
And where did the other one come in from?
I am not aware where it came from. I was not involved with that.
I received it's from Hack Excavating, Mr.
Hack.
Fischel got it. I received the email Saturday or so, over the weekend.
And who is that individual?
So it's Paul Hack, I believe is the.
Yeah, he's a person that lives in the district. He's done a lot of work, including with the county, and he's a very well-respected community member. And he had given a quote, and I think that what we're looking to do is a couple things. We want the best value, and so that every dollar that is spent in the Riverside Local School District, since it is all taxpayer dollars, we want those dollars to be spent as efficiently and effectively as possible. Therefore, there's two things. One is, what is the cost? Is there a lowest cost option? And then also, what's the value of that cost in the contract? And so, in addition to that, what we would like to do, and what we are starting to do, is develop a team of people that are community members that actually can do the work here. We've had some difficulty in the past with having companies that are outside and sometimes far outside the district. And those people don't always have the best interests of the district in mind, and sometimes when they are there to be contacted, they really don't want to respond very much. And I know that Mr. Arlesic's experience sometimes where either people aren't, let's say, being very cooperative in doing the work and or responding, and sometimes can't even get a response anymore. So we're developing a team that would be more community-minded.
That's interesting.
Okay,
Mr. Alessic, have you had an opportunity to compare and contrast the two quotes?
No, it did not.
Okay. Has this been discussed at Buildings and Grounds?
We've discussed.
The two contracts
No, they haven't.
specifically, thank you.
The because 164,000 was the modular.
Right,
unit.
that's what I saw.
That's what we paid for it?
Yeah, there's
Because,
Plus whatever renovations and what.
yeah, and thank you for that.
Yep.
So we paid $164,000 for the latest one, and
So this is Oregon, and this is like,
and part of my concern was when we originally had a quote to remove the trailers, it was my understanding that the original quote, and I think that was from Eagle, was to just dispose of all three. And I didn't want to do that because we would be throwing away $100 and some thousand of a purchase that had just happened a couple of years previous. And so what I was looking to do was get another quote, and Paul Hack was willing to come in and dismantle and discard the older two, but keep the one so that we could set that aside and sell it. Now, another item, Chris, did you check on if it's law that we have to auction anything
I
over
did, Dan
10,000?
has not got back to me yet.
Oh, yeah, no answer yet?
No answer yet.
Okay, so one of the questions is it our policy or is it Ohio law that if something is going to be sold for $10,000 or more that we have to auction it? And so I guess we're waiting on.
It is policy, we are waiting to confirm whether it's.
Right, and because if it's policy, what I would move to do is eliminate that policy because it ties your hands a little bit. And if it's Ohio law, we have to follow it. But if it's policy, we would move to change and eliminate that policy so that we would have a wider market with a better opportunity to get a better amount of money for
so let me make sure
our sale.
I'm understanding that clearly. We're going to change policy to fit your need, and can we do that with anything?
So,
Is that gonna be our mode of operation,
So I'm
like
talking
going
about
forward?
this. I'm talking about this one item.
I am talking in general. If you're going to change policy to fit your need right here and say, well, gee, let's change policy because it doesn't help us. There's a lot of things in policy that don't necessarily help us. Should we change them all?
well, so let me ask you, over
Just
the last
curious.
16 years, have you looked at these policies?
I
If they're not to our
absolutely have looked at the
benefit?
policies.
If they're not to our benefit, why are they there?
Then you tell me, I'm asking, are we going to change all the policies that are not to our benefit?
So that's kind of a ridiculous
No, it's not
question.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
asking you if it
ridiculous.
fits
So
your
we'll
need.
move on.
No, we're not gonna move on. If
Okay,
it
so
fits
we're
your
gonna,
need,
we're going
to
to,
determine
this discussion's
that-
over.
This
and
discussion is not
you're-
over.
You're out of order.
I am not out of
You're
order.
out of order.
This is a board meeting. I have a right to
Ms.
speak.
Grassi, you're out of order.
I'm not out of order.
Okay, so we're gonna look at the two
You're
quotes.
out of order, Mr. Fisher.
We have a quote from Eagle for $34,785. We have a quote from Hack Excavating for $34,000. And I've assumed, I just heard, Ms. Brewster, you said you've already read these?
Yeah.
Mr. Keeney, have you read these?
Just now I'm looking at
Okay.
them.
And Ms. Brewster, have you read, I'm sorry,
I'm
Ms.
not Ms.
Grassi,
Brewster.
have you read these?
I've looked at them right now.
Okay, so, all right, so in looking at the two, what I'm looking at is the work is generally the same. And we would be, again, just so everyone knows, we had purchased the one unit a couple of years ago for a substantial amount of money. And what I didn't want to do was just discard that. And originally, the quote was to discard that and throw it away. And so I didn't want to do that. So we have another quote, but both of these quotes now just remove the two and keep the one, and so that we could sell it. And so are there any questions or discussions about these two quotes?
Personally, I think Eagle's quote looks like an actual scope of work. We have not talked at this at Buildings and Grounds, according to Mr. Alessic. He also has not had an opportunity to have conversation with the second company. It's interesting that you're talking about you'd like to keep things in district because people are too far away. This other company is located in Garfield Heights, doesn't seem all that far away to me. We've hired somebody from the state of Tennessee to do marketing. We have on the agenda hiring somebody from the state of Texas to do financial consulting, but that's not too far away, but Garfield Heights is. I'm confused. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, thank you for your comments.
Sure.
Are there any other comments?
I would like to discuss the third trailer when we're done with this.
Okay, all right, so no more comments on this?
I don't think we can discuss the third trailer because that's not part of this agenda. This is a special meeting, we have to stick to the agenda.
Okay, so we have two quotes in front of us, and I make a motion to approve Hack Excavating and Demolition. Can I get a second?
That's
We
a-
have to select,
You have to select one.
You have to select one?
Yes.
Okay, so I make a motion to select
So we're selecting Hack.
Hack Excavating and
So now we're
Demolition.
on, that would be item C.
Okay, so that is,
So Hack for a cost of $30.
that is,
can I ask what that selection, what the criteria for your
so,
selection is?
so in selecting that, we need to vote on that.
There's no vote for the selection, it was a discussion. So all we did is discuss, and now we are voting on who the selection is
Okay,
on.
all right, so we're selecting Hack as the company, and then also we are looking at item C, which is the selection of the vendor for demolition, and it says a resolution.
Excuse me, we did not vote on item C.
There's no vote with.
I think we
Oh,
just
C is a vote,
addressed
yes,
item
C is
B.
a vote, B is the discussion, C.
So can I ask a question just to clarify procedurally? This is a vote to select a vendor, but it's not a vote to approve the contract yet, correct?
C is the purchase order.
B we talked about, and B it says discussion and selection of vendor to.
Don't we usually have to, if we're gonna do that and have conversation to select, don't we usually have to have an item on the agenda to select? I mean,
That's
how we've
item
usually
B,
done it.
that's item B.
Then there should be a vote.
So we're voting, so we're adding a vote in B to
So
the
I
selection.
agree, if there's gonna be a
Okay.
selection, there needs to be a vote by the board.
Okay.
And so I make a resolution to select Hack Excavating as the company to be considered for approval for the contract. Can I get a second?
Second.
And then again, I would like to know what the criteria for that selection is. What is the criteria? What has Mr. Arlesic provided us with the difference between these two companies and what we're getting for our dollars between the two companies? We haven't done that yet. We haven't discussed it at Buildings and Grounds yet. It hasn't been to the full board for conversation yet, so.
There is a small savings with the Hack.
Yeah, $785. Is that the only criteria for selection?
I'm sorry, how much did you say it was?
$785.
Right, okay.
Is that all the criteria is?
Okay,
I mean,
so.
is that the only criteria that we're using,
So,
or you're using?
are you asking a question in general or to Mr.
Yes, I am asking a
Keenan?
question, I am asking a question in general, and if Mr. Alesic has not had any conversation with the other company, what professional, opinion do we have to compare the two companies? Do we have that?
So, are you asking the board or are you asking Mr. Arlesic?
I am asking the board.
Okay, so it's my opinion that Hack gives us.
I didn't ask you for your opinion. I asked you what work you've done to compare the two contractors.
Okay, I have spoken with Hack Excavating. Okay, the person, Mr. Hack, has done work for the county and decades of work in the community. He's a trusted member of our community, and I believe he's worthy of the contract.
So based on your recommendation, but not the recommendation of our Director of Maintenance and Facilities,
Okay, I'm
who
asking.
hasn't had an opportunity to look at this yet.
So, are you asking Mr. Arlesic a question or the board a question?
No, I'm asking the board a question. You haven't given our Director of Facilities an opportunity to review the contract.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Arlesic, did you look at the contracts?
The only one I saw, Mr. Fischel, was the one for Needle Excavating.
Okay, so when Hack, the contract came in, you have not looked at it?
I have not.
So he's had the opportunity to look at it, he has not done so.
Has it been brought to Buildings and Grounds?
So, no,
So why are we voting on it now?
because we're gonna move forward.
Not acceptable, in my opinion.
Okay, so there's a motion on the table, resolution to approve Hack Excavating as the company to be considered for hire, and it's been seconded by Ms. Brewster. Mike, can you take the roll?
Scott Fishel,
Aye.
Dennis Keeney,
Aye.
Denise Brewster,
Aye.
Linda Grassi.
Absolutely nay.
Motion carried. Next on the agenda is the selection of the vendor, the approval of the contract. So a resolution to approve a purchase order with Hack Excavating and Demolition, Inc. for demolition of 2 modular trailers and overhead walkways at Buckeye Elementary at a total cost of $34,000. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Just so shady.
Thank you
I
for,
missed that, but okay.
thank you for that. Mike, can you take the roll?
Dennis Keeney,
Aye.
Denise Brewster,
Aye.
Linda Grassi,
Absolutely nay.
Scott Fishel.
Aye. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is a comprehensive analysis of operational revenue and financial management mechanisms. There is a proposal for someone to come in. We're going to be, our treasurer is leaving and going to another district. We're going to be hiring a treasurer.
This is conversation. Can we read the motion, please?
Discussion of engagement in a proposal for comprehensive analysis of operational revenues and financial management mechanisms with Briscoe Consulting Group. And we have, our treasurer is going to another district. We will have a new treasurer come in, and oftentimes in business, it's just a good business policy to make sure that the new person coming in has a clean bill. And so we have someone come in and go over the books for the last several years. This will be at least a 6-year look back. And so I am looking at making a resolution to hire this company to do so.
I have just a whole slew of questions, if you don't mind. So you're looking at 6-year look back.
And it could go more.
Oh, it could go more, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask these questions in no particular order. Mr. Keeney, this question is going to be directed to you as the chair of our finance committee. Have we talked about this at the finance committee?
No.
Has this ever been brought to the table as new business?
No.
It's never been requested, never talked about, never any conversation. Like I said, I've been on the finance committee for a long time. It's not been discussed, and you just confirmed that. Have you seen this contract before this weekend?
No.
Okay.
May I make a comment?
No, I'm going to continue, and then people can say whatever they want. This individual is from Texas. That's sort of interesting because not just 5 minutes ago you said that somebody from Garfield Heights was too far away. This individual is from Texas. Texas. I would like to know what Texas school finance has to do with Ohio school finance.
So are you asking us a
Yes, that is a
specific
question.
person, or are you asking
I
the
don't know,
board
I'm
in
asking
general?
any of the 3 people on this board.
Okay. So Ms. Grassi, it appears that you have a little confusion. So when you have
I don't have any
when you have a
confusion, Mr.
person, when you have a
You
person.
always say
hold
you're
on.
confused.
So-
I'm not confused,
so
not
hold
right
on.
now.
So hold on. When you have a person that's going to come in and work on, let's say, an air conditioning unit, they have to put their
You're gonna
hands on that.
mansplain now.
They have to put their hands on that. It's helpful that they're local, okay? In the past, when you were making decisions, you hired companies out of Canada, out of Indiana, and when we've gone to call them, they were not willing to come here. Okay, that's not good business. So that's on a physical. So when you're looking at someone who's going to be doing something digitally or online, and they don't need to be here, they could be anywhere in the world. Okay, those are 2 different things.
That's perfect. So
Okay.
is this person a licensed Ohio school treasurer?
I'm not finished, okay? I'm not finished. And so when you have someone who's available online, that person can be anywhere. This particular person works in the whole country. And works with school districts and other entities in all around the United States of America. So again, I'll just restate that that's a lot different than having someone that's necessary to put their hands on
All
something
right,
to
perfect.
fix
So
it.
do we have any professional references, because none of them were listed? There's no individual references, there's no educational references listed for this person. Have they done any work in Ohio? Are they an Ohio CPA? Are they a Texas CPA? I have no idea what their credentials are. Is this Ohio school treasurer? I'm not finished. Is this an Ohio school treasurer? Is this a Texas school treasurer? What understanding do they have of Ohio school finance, which is complicated? We have a plethora of data available for free from the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce. Anytime we ask, we have 2 licensed school treasurers on our own staff. Have we asked them for this information? Have they asked you for this information at all? Any type of information like this?
Yeah,
When you say this information, what
I
do you
don't,
mean?
I don't know. I have no idea. You're asking this individual, and this individual is coming in and actually telling you that they're going to analyze operational revenues. Operational revenues to me says Fund 006 and Fund 020. Is that what they're going to be looking at?
So Ms. Grassi, they're going to be looking at all of our financial transactions,
Okay, that's not what this says. It says they're going to analyze sources of operational revenue.
right? And that's where they will start,
That's Fund 006 and 020.
okay? That's where they will start.
So they're going to start with the kitchen and latchkey.
So they're going to start wherever they're going to start, and they're going to look at all of our financial activity.
That's not what this says.
Okay, they're going to look at all of our financial activity, and that's where they will start.
And then
So,
I want to continue. So number 4 says that ensure that all financial transactions are accurately recorded and reconciled within the general ledger. We don't have a general ledger. Maintaining the integrity of financial data. So the auditor of state comes in every single year and does an audit of our district. And for 10 years straight, we have won an auditor of state award. Why is this person being asked to do duplicative work?
May I make a comment?
Sure.
Okay, I look at this as more like insurance. You know, what we're doing is a new treasurer coming in. You know, I know that our current treasurer, yes, he's gotten awards, done a very good job. There's no issues there. But we have a new treasurer that's going to come in. What we want to do is wrap up the books for the new treasurer coming in, so he's assured that when he comes into the position, that everything is in order and he can move forward
I
with the
believe
work.
the state of Ohio Auditor's Office has already done that every single year.
But they look at things in a little different way. We want to take a little deeper dive into things to see just where the money is going. Not that it's going anywhere wrong, but it's just where is it going and how we can, you know, we're in deficit spending. We need to control our expenses. And this will help us. With that, it'll help the new treasurer get off to a fresh start, knowing that everything is in order when he starts his work.
So A, could we hire somebody from Ohio? B, there are firms that do that. C, there are firms in Ohio that audit Ohio school districts, audit firms, whatever, not necessarily the state auditor's office. We could hire them. Have we asked our own staff to provide us with data? If you're looking for something specific, have you asked them? Did you know we can download?
I have asked
Right.
our assistant treasurer for information. He's gathering that for me. I'm meeting with him again shortly after our meeting to put things together a little bit more. And yes, I have asked it, and they are providing information. And when we get the initial formatting down, then we can apply it across the district, so we will have a better handle on what each one of our facilities is costing us.
So basically what you're saying is we don't really need somebody to do that externally. We have staff to do that. We do have staff to do that. We can download every single transaction we want, throw it into a file and pivot table
Yes,
it,
but then
sort
you're
it.
asking, people to look at that don't have the depth of experience in that field.
So you're saying our staff doesn't have the depth
No,
of experience in that field?
I'm looking for an independent view, an independent opinion, and I think that's just good insurance for the district.
it's,
The
you're talking,
independent opinion comes from Our audit, it
You're
actually
talking
says they're.
apples and
inde-
oranges, you're talking
No, I'm
different
not.
things, okay?
No, I'm not.
And you're a CPA, you should be fully aware of
Oh,
what
I'm
you're
very
saying.
fully aware.
Okay, you're talking about different things, and the approach of an outside person and asking information from inside are two totally different things.
Did you know that we can
There-
ask
there
the
ca-
state
there
of
can-
Ohio's auditor's office for a
excuse-
performance audit for free?
Excuse me.
Did you know that?
There can be an overlap, okay, on that information, okay, but you're talking about different things. So what I'm looking at doing is bringing in an outside company. We would certainly like to have a very clean handoff to our new treasurer, whomever that may be. And then shortly, we will be in the process of interviewing people for that position. Okay, it's good business to do this, and I'm looking to do it, and I'm making a motion to do it.
And I'm asking, did you know that we can get a performance audit for
And
free?
and I'm not interested in having any further dialogue with you, because you just don't.
I'm asking a
you don't-
question.
You don't seem interested in moving forward.
You don't seem interested in answering my question. Did you know we can get a performance
Okay.
audit for free?
Is there any further discussion?
Mrs. Krasinski did send in a statement that she asked I read it.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, so go ahead, please.
So for Mrs. Krasinski, unfortunately, I am unable to attend today's special Board of Education meeting due to prior professional commitments. I want to express my concern regarding today's special board meeting and the process surrounding a newly added agenda item that involving a financial services contract. The amended agenda for this special meeting includes a proposed title, Comprehensive Analysis of Operational Revenues and Financial Management Mechanisms prepared by an out-of-state consultant. This proposal includes a base cost of $9,500 broken down as follows: $1,200 upfront resource/report fee due immediately upon acceptance, $8,300 base fee split into 30%, $2,490 due at project start, 70%, $5,810 due at completion. Additionally, the proposal includes open-ended costs such as travel expenses. If in-person work is required, the district must cover airfare, hotel, transportation, and other travel-related costs, plus a $120 per diem for meals and incidentals. Additional billable hours if work exceeds the estimated 60 hours. Each additional hour is billed at $150 per hour. Future investigative costs if the consultant finds financial anomalies. A separate proposal with new cost estimates will be submitted for approval. This proposal was not reviewed by superintendent or treasurer, was not discussed during any prior public meeting, was added late after the original agenda was posted requiring an amendment, will be voted on while treasurer is unavailable and a board member is out of state. Approving a financial engagement of this size and scope without administrative input or financial oversight and in the absence of the treasurer does not reflect sound financial governance. Why it raises red flags. The consultant is not located in Ohio. The proposal bypasses standard district procedures, including competitive bidding and administrative vetting. The board is being asked to authorize a significant, potentially expanding financial commitment without a clear justification, timing rationale, or professional endorsement. These issues are especially concerning given that the district is already facing operational deficits and has been relying on internal fund transfers to finance projects that are elective board decisions, not necessary projects. Also, it's increasingly concerning that the board continues to disregard the professional guidance of our treasurer and financial advisors when that guidance does not align with predetermined board actions. Given the absence of key decision makers and unanswered questions about this proposal, I respectfully request that the board postpone any action on this item until full board and administrative leadership can participate in a well-informed discussion.
Okay, thank you for reading that. And
I would also just like to add that it's interesting that they're asking, in our desire to look for efficiencies, this individual is asking for $120 per diem for meals when the Government Services Administration only approved $80 for this year for the area of Cleveland. So that's what we're gonna get. Somebody who doesn't even look up and do their homework.
so thank you for that information. Make a resolution to approve a purchase order with Briscoe Consulting Group for a comprehensive analysis of operational revenues and financial management mechanisms at a total cost of $9,500. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Mike, can you call the roll?
Denise Brewster,
Aye.
Linda Grassi,
Absolutely not, and I want to make sure that that the commentary is put into public record for our meeting minutes, please.
Scott Fishel,
Aye.
Dennis Keeney.
Aye.
Motion carried. One more item, I know it's not on the agenda, but our girls softball team has won the regionals and headed to states, right?
They're in the Final Four for states, as well as we have seven or eight track athletes who are competing this weekend as well. So be on the lookout for a map coming out for a third. We're doing we're taking the kids to the community. So pep rally, a mobile pep rally, if you would.
Awesome and
So this
awesome.
Thursday night.
And the softball's in Akron, is that correct?
Softball's in Akron, track is in Columbus. Both on Saturday. Softball wins Saturday, carries over into Sunday. The only change would be if any of the games are rained out, they just move it back a day.
Awesome, go Riverside, and what a great time, because this is the first time in Riverside history if someone's going to the states, right?
It is the first time we have
Or
a
a team.
team going to states, and in the state Final Four, and I believe it's only the second team in Lake County ever to make it this far.
Wow, that's
And
great.
if they win Saturday, they will be the team that go the farthest in Lake County. So super excited.
Wow.
And thank you to Coach Mr. Ross.
Thank you, Coach Ross, and all our track coaches. We're
Yeah.
super excited.
Super. Thank you. Okay, so next meeting announcement, curriculum and programming, June 10th at 7:30 a.m. Finance and personnel, June 18th at 8 a.m. Buildings and grounds, June 24th at 7:30 a.m. Board of Education meeting on June 26th at 6 p.m.
Yes,
Okay,
6 p.m.
okay. All right. I make a motion to adjourn at 8:08. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Mike, can you call the roll?
Scott Fishel,
Aye.
Dennis Keating,
Aye.
Denise Brewster,
Aye.
Linda Grassi.
Motion carried, and hope everyone has a wonderful day.